Hi, Joanna Hodorowska, Nutrition and Motion, nutrition for body, mind, spirit, and sport. And we're going to talk about GI distress. It's kind of like a fire in the intestinal tract. It's in the gut. So you probably don't even know what foods feed the fire, what's feeding the good bacteria, what's feeding the bad bacteria, and I got bacteria in my gut. Ew, gross. But you know those little bugs in the gut, it's called the flora by one definition. It is your microbiome. It affects your mind, your mood. It's really something that you've got these good bugs and the bad bugs in the digestive tract all the way through, and these bugs are part of what actually helps to break down the food and give you some of the nutrients and be able to actually absorb some of the nutrients from the food that you're eating. There are some foods that you are probably unaware that are basically feeding the bad bugs and not feeding the good ones. And then when you get that imbalance, you start getting IBS issues, you start getting headaches, you start getting sometimes even like flu-like symptoms. You get all sorts of other imbalances, all based on what's going on in that gut. So I'm just going to kind of go over a couple of things that you're going to hate me for telling you some of these things, but it's reality. So in order to balance the gut, you have to actually feed the good bugs. And that's not just saying, okay, let's just put in some probiotics. You need some of those prebiotics and things that are actually going to feed those good bacteria and the good bugs. So when you're under a lot of stress, that digestive tract starts to be not as effective as it was before in terms of breaking down the food. Once it gets to the intestinal tract, then you've got that acidity caused from the stress. The first thing is you really have to eliminate the stress, and then you can work on the digestive issues. What happens when you are in this chronic place of stress, it could be a couple months later, it could be a couple weeks later. It's not always in that time of stress that you're actually going to have symptoms, but some of those symptoms are the IBS. You have pain, you have, you're bloated, you're gassy. You could be, constipation, diarrhea, could be either or. And if you're a runner or a long distance cyclist, then sometimes these become issues that you just don't want to deal with, especially while you are trying to get the stress relief, which sometimes becomes the stress itself as well. You can also get pain, which can be the inflammation in the joints. It could be inflammation in the head. It could be headaches. It could be migraines. It could be muscle and joint aches. You could be getting more injuries, and this is a sign of the inflammation and the imbalance that's in the gut. You could also get brain fog, and moodiness and just inability to cope. So these are some of the symptoms of having that gut imbalance. But you've kind of decided that that's normal. This is just how it's supposed to be, and it's really not supposed to be like that. So some of the foods that you're going to want to eliminate, which are fueling the fire, are basically the foods that are inflammatory. But these really yummy things like cookies. And yeah, I have cookies in my house too, because sometimes you just need them. And then, chocolate. This is all sugar, and sugar helps to feed the bad bugs, which make the symptoms worse. So if you're having a lot of sugar cravings or having issues losing weight, it could actually be that your gut flora is all out of balance. The things that actually help to feed the good bacteria is, the green vegetables. And it's not just the green ones, but predominantly it's the green vegetables tend to feed the good flora. So it's trying to actually balance those things out. And sometimes, the raw ones don't really work too well because your gut's too sensitive. So you have to cook them slightly. There's a lot of positives, negatives, but if you want to get your kind of body back to the way you want it and rebalance that gut flora, it might be time to actually schedule a session to find out, what is causing your symptoms. Is it just that we need to balance the blood sugar? Do we need to manage some of the emotional eating and some of the stress that's causing the eating? Or do we have to actually do some stress management with some path to heal sessions or essential oils? And can we actually do some of that stress management with just balancing the blood sugar? So it's trying to help you honor what your body needs, and it probably needs more of the good bugs and the good bacteria to be in a higher population than the bad stuff. So if you have any questions, you can give me a call. Joanna Hodorowska, Nutrition in Motion, nutrition for body, mind, spirit, and sport.